Hey y'all, this is Dina. Welcome to my channel. I am back to share with you a few of the things that I use whenever I sew. I've had multiple people ask me if I could share some of the tools that I use when I sew, so I thought I would just share a few of the basics. The first most important things that you need when you sew, besides a good sewing machine, is your scissors. And as you see here, these have fabric written on them. I usually put F's or right fabric on them because in my craft room I do not like to use paper for my fabric scissors. They dull them. So that in my craft room is a no-no. You don't use fabric scissors on paper. So I have paper scissors and I have fabric scissors. So anyway, these are my fabric scissors. Now I've got a couple of pairs that I keep here hanging by my sewing machine. I usually do by Fiskars. I also have these peaking shears right here. I'll be honest, I don't really use them a whole lot, but they're a great asset to have. Most of these I got at Joann Fabrics. This pair I do believe I got these at Tuesday Morning. So anyway, those are some of the scissors I use. Now the rotary cutter I find is very helpful to have in your craft room. I use this all the time. I've probably had this particular one 7 years. I think I've changed the blade once. It still works wonderfully. So as long as you don't use it on paper, they work pretty well. But when you do need to change the blade, you just unscrew this, pop this thing off, pop a new blade on, and screw it back together. It's that easy. So anyway, this right here, I cannot live without it. I use this all the time. Now I have a couple more that maybe are a little bit smaller sizes, but this one's my favorite. Sewing needles that I use the big-eyed needles usually. And the reason I use the big-eyed needles is because it's hard for me to see the little tiny ones. So that's why I use that. For straight pins, I usually use these kind that have the little flower heads on them. And the reason that I use these is they're not any better than the rest. It's just with that flower head, when I drop them in the floor, I can see them. As far as my sewing machine needles, this is the brand I like to use. I usually use these 9014s, and this is Schmetz brand. It's SCHMETZ. I find these work well for me and my sewing machine. So I do have a Singer Modern Quilter sewing machine, and you know what? These right here work better than the Singers. In my opinion, they just work better than the Singer straight pins or sewing machine needles. The reason that I like these better is like my machine is like an automatic threader. It has an automatic threader, and these work better than the Singer in my opinion. So that's why I use these. So those are the few kind of straight pins or needles that I use. For thread, my favorite is this Gutermann thread. I really do like this thread a lot. I do use some Coats thread, but I prefer the Gutermann thread. So recently, if you've seen any of my videos, I purchased this invisible thread. It's by Gutermann as well. And y'all, I can hand sew with it pretty fine, but as far as putting in my machine, I haven't mastered that yet. So if you have any tips, let me know. As far as like walking feet for my sewing machine, this is just the basic walking foot right here. I have several from my sewing machine, but I'm just going to show you 3 that I use. This one is the one I use the most. I use that one and this one. This is actually a zipper foot. You can, the thing that comes down out of your machine that grasps onto here, they will go on either side, and that way if you need to sew on this side of the zipper you can, or on that side of the zipper. I use this one all the time. Another thing you can have for your sewing machine is actually a walking foot, and that's what this little baby is. I've probably used it 2 or 3 times since I've had my machine, and you know what? I don't really care for it. I mean, it worked well, but I'm finding that this is only really good if you're using very thick fabric. It helps things not to move around so much. But I don't really use mine that much, I'll be honest. Yeah, I find just using my regular walking foot works well for me. Some pins that you can use in your craft room. These are for your sewing space. This friction pin right here is a great pin. You can actually draw on your fabric with it and then shoot it with some steam from your iron and the ink disappears. So that's one I used. I got this at Target. And here's another one that I got. These are like the same kind of thing. They will disappear. And then I just have this cheapo one that I got at Walmart probably 10 years ago, and it's still running strong, y'all. So those are the few things. I do find that I use these quite a bit in my craft room. As far as bobbins, I like to use like plastic bobbins. And here you can see here. My mother, she always was used to using metal bobbins in her machine. And when she was able to sew, she was always wanting to use the metal because I'd given her a different machine to use and it took plastic. She still wasn't understanding, y'all. So anyway, yeah, you can, I like these the best. I really do. I like that one the best. Let's see here. And I also, here's some of the, that I use on here. Any plastic, bobbins will work in my machine. Now, something I truly, truly love, and if you've seen my videos, you have seen these. These Clover Wonder Clips are the most absolute wonderful, wonderful, wonderful product here. There they are. I keep them in this little container we got at the ice cream parlor. And, yeah, it just became my Clover Wonder Clip keeper. And those actually will hold your fabric still better than a straight pin. So, yeah, I can't live without those. I probably could, but since I've had them, I don't want to live without them. So, other things that you can use in your craft room that I feel is important is a good iron. This isn't the biggest one, but it's the best one I have. And let me tell you, I've had that one where the iron, it goes up and down and you can leave it in the position like this and go like this. Yeah, I can't even remember the name of it, but let me tell you, I spent more than $100 on that iron, like $150, and it didn't even last me 6 months because it accidentally fell off my sewing machine or my ironing table and it broke and the thing wouldn't go up and down. Y'all, I paid 10 bucks for this at Walmart and it works just fine, and I'm able to keep it on this DIY ironing board that I have on my table, and it's the best thing ever. Speaking of ironing boards, I do have a video for this one right here. You can have a regular ironing board in your craft room, or in this one, this is a space saver, and I made this one out of some batting, some fabric, and a piece of plywood. And I do have a video for this one, so if you're interested and you need an iron for your sewing space, this is really a great option for you. A couple other little things that you need is some good rulers. This one is, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's a 4" by 24. This one is well used, let me tell you. This one right here, this one is a 6" by 24", and it's well used as well. And this ruler is an 8 by 8, and I also have like a 4 by 4 as well. I do find that I use these all the time, mostly the longer ones, but I was taking up quilting for a while, and this one came in real handy when I used my quilting machine, when I was doing my quilting. So anyway, those were a few things that I use. And besides my sewing machine, I do have the Singer Modern Quilter. And I'm going to show you what that looks like now. And here is my sewing machine. I have done a video on this one before. I did get this at Joann Fabrics. It is a workhorse. The reason I got it is because of large throat space. That's the reason I got this machine. And I have been very happy with it. I've had minimal problems with it, and it's just been a great machine all around. So anyway, those are a few things that I use whenever I am sewing. Things that I feel is real needed is your scissors, some good straight pins, a sewing machine. It doesn't have to be this one. And yeah, good thread and good fabric. Other than that, all the other things, they will come in time, and and all that. And I really, there's some of these things I can't live without, like those Clever Wonder Clips. Anyway, I am going to cut this off. I'm going to let you guys go. I hope that you guys found this helpful, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.